Welcome back to the Fulton County Gospel News Podcast. My name is Barry Odell, and I am your host. Fulton County Gospel News is a bi-monthly publication of the Church of Christ in Mammoth Spring, Arkansas. And if you'd like to learn more about our paper, just visit our website, mammothspringchurchofchrist.com, and there you can find all the necessary information. If you would like to get a subscription to the paper, it's always free of charge. You can receive it as a PDF in your email, or you can receive a hard copy through the United States Postal Service. Just let us know what we can do for you. If you've not yet become a follower of our Podbean channel, on your computer go to podbean.com and search for Fulton County Gospel News. You can also do this on your Apple or Android device. And once you become a follower, you can interact with each individual episode. You can ask questions, make comments on the app, and you'll also get notifications when each new episode comes out. Today I want to read an article to you from the September 1989 edition of Fulton County Gospel News. The title of the article is Salvation and Justification, and the author is T. Pierce Brown. Now, T. Pierce Brown, I do not know personally. I was familiarized with him several years ago by a friend of mine in Pensacola, Florida. He shared some articles that T. Pierce Brown wrote. I had never read him before then, but I found him to be very thoughtful, very insightful, and so I found this article, and I thought I would share it with you. So again, the title of the article is Salvation and Justification by T. Pierce Brown from the September 1989 edition of Fulton County Gospel News. Several times recently I have read statements which say something like this: justification and salvation are synonymous terms. While not wanting to be nitpicking, I feel constrained to point out that this is not so. This may seem like a technicality not worth mentioning, but a Bible student and especially a Bible teacher not only needs to know what is the proper definition of Bible terms, but needs to know how to adequately and accurately communicate that knowledge in practical and understandable terms to his hearers or readers. It is true that the terms justification and salvation may both refer to the same condition in a person in a given context. That is, when Paul said in Acts 13:38 that through this man is preached unto you the forgiveness of sins, and in verse 39, and by him all that believe are justified from all things, he was talking about the same condition. And such is true in many cases. But that does not mean the terms are synonymous. Let us illustrate that. The words elder, presbyter, pastor, shepherd, bishop, overseer, all may refer in some contexts to the same person. That person is one to whom we usually refer to as an elder in the Lord's church. But the terms do not mean the same thing. The terms church, kingdom, vineyard, body, bride, sheepfold, etc., are all terms which refer to the same group of saved persons who follow Jesus, but they do not all mean the same thing. They are not synonyms. Such passages as the following should make it even more abundantly clear. Matthew 11:19, and wisdom is justified by her works. Luke 7:29, and all the people when they heard, and all the publicans justified God, being baptized with the baptism of John. Surely it does not take one with the wisdom of Solomon to understand that when they justified God, they did not save God. When Jesus said in Luke 16:15, and he said unto them, Ye are they which justify yourselves in the sight of men, but God knoweth your hearts, he did not teach nor imply that when they justified themselves, they were therefore saved. The term justification simply means to make or declare one to be right. If the context is that in which a person is declared to be in a right relationship with God, it often involves his being saved from his sins. The Bible declares that Abraham was justified, declared to be just, when he offered his son on the altar, James 2:21. This shows that faith without works is dead, and that faith was perfected by obedience, James 2:20. Neither Moses, Paul, nor James were talking about Abraham being saved from his past sins and being translated into a different kingdom or relationship, as is in the case of an alien sinner today. We have heard it discussed in such a way as to make it almost sound as if Abraham got forgiveness of his sins by offering Isaac on the altar. The impression may be left that up to that time, Abraham was out of fellowship with God as an alien sinner, and when he offered his son, he was justified, forgiven, as a man is forgiven at the point of baptism. This is not so. A man was never forgiven, either in the Old Testament or New, by offering his son on the altar. The real point is that each step along the way, Abraham was justified by faith. Note carefully, when all God required Abraham to do was trust, then Abraham stood in the right relationship with God, was justified, when he obeyed that command. When God required Abraham to act on his faith could not be reckoned unto him for righteousness until he acted. All right, so I found this to be a very interesting article, and I suppose it was interesting to me because of my historical context. I've been talking with a friend lately, a preacher friend lately, about justification and salvation and sanctification and what those terms mean, and specifically what they imply in terms of salvation itself. But it is important to know that because words can mean or refer to the same state in some contexts, it does not make them synonymous. And so I found this article by T. Pierce Brown to be very helpful. Hey, I appreciate you checking in with the Fulton County Gospel News Podcast today. If you've not yet subscribed to the paper, again, visit our website, mammothspringchurchofchrist.com. Get a hold of us and let us know what we can do for you. If you've not yet become a follower of our podcast, go to podbean.com on your computer or on your Apple or Android device. Get the app and become a follower, and you'll get notifications, and you can also interact with each individual episode. Well, thanks again for listening today, and I will catch you on the next episode of the Fulton County Gospel News Podcast.